Hello and welcome to episode 58 of the Totally Unqualified Podcast. It is our Super Bowl episode, baby. It's the big game weekend. We're all looking forward to it. Joey B versus Matty Stafford. It's going to be a great one. We got some great bets to talk about with that one and just some things about the game. But before we get into football, we got some basketball news to get into with some big trades going down this weekend with the NBA trade deadline. And I know that we usually always start the show with a Guess That Player, but we have a special guest coming on today, a guest that is near and dear to our hearts. So we are going to wait until he gets on to do the Guess That Player. So right now we're just going to go right into NBA trade deadline. But before we do that, I'm here with my amazing co-hosts, Gage and Luke. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing great. I've got a little something special in my cup, so that always helps. But
cheers.
Other than spending $250 on groceries today, I'm doing fantastic.
Hey, let's go. Hey, it's better than paying $700 for a Verizon plan, but I got to do the other day.
What was better, the Verizon plan or owning the Packers? Which one was the better $700 purchase?
It's a valid point.
I mean, Verizon lasts, a month? Packers ownership lasts forever.
That's true.
Yeah, so I mean,
can't argue with that logic.
Yeah. But I'm doing good. I had my first newscast today. I was a part of a newscast, which was pretty cool.
Let's go, Luke.
Honestly, I've been stressed out the whole day, but I'm ready to fucking go. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go. Let's go.
Love that energy.
Let's go. Bring it. Come on.
All right. Tone it down a little bit. All right. Okay.
My bad.
Okay. No, I love the energy.
Okay.
So let's just start out with the trade that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody knows what happened. James Harden, the crybaby himself. Sorry, I don't know. James Harden has been traded to the 76ers for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and some picks. Luke,
Andre Drummond as well.
Andre Drummond too. Andre Drummond was included in that trade as well. Luke, we'll start with you. What'd you think when you got the news?
I feel like we were anticipating this before the season even started because we knew what was going on with Kyrie. But I think a lot of people were thinking that it was going to be Kyrie that gets dealt and not James Harden because Kyrie's situation. And I don't think anybody really thought this was going to be how it turns out. But of course it is. James Harden, one crybaby, gets traded for another crybaby. I can't speak. James Harden, one crybaby, gets traded for another crybaby in Ben Simmons. I gotta be honest. I really, really think Daryl Morey and the 76ers got fleeced in this. I think they got fleeced. I'm not going to say that James Harden doesn't make their team better because obviously he does. He makes it way better and a whole new dynamic. The pick and roll between him and Joel Embiid is going to be crazy. But what they gave up to get him, you made the Nets significantly better.
Yeah.
Way, way, way better. And honestly, they're going to use the Brooklyn Nets aren't going to use Ben Simmons in that traditional point guard role. He's probably going to play the 4 for them. At least I hope until maybe KD gets back or whatever. He needs to be in a role where he doesn't have to control the offense. He doesn't have to have the whole weight of the world on his shoulders. He could just go out there and play basketball. And you know what? I'm hoping the best for Ben Simmons because I think he's one of the best talents that the NBA has today. Offensively and defensively. I mean, I can't shoot, but still facilitates a great offense. And I think Seth Curry is another great get. Joe Harris has been dealing with injuries, so that's you can just plug him right in, and honestly, better shooter than Joe Harris, in my opinion. And then Andre Drummond, they needed some help at the center position. Andre Drummond could get you 15 boards a night if he really put 100% effort into it, which doesn't really do nowadays. But I think the 76ers got fleeced in this one, but I think both teams did benefit. Just one way significantly more than the other.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I think that the Nets definitely won the trade for me, but I don't think it was necessarily bad for the Sixers. I think that they got a great player in James Harden. And I think that, like you said, I mean, the connection between him and Joel Embiid is probably going to be fantastic. I'm excited to see what they are able to do with that duo. But as far as like the pieces and the depth that the Nets got, I think that that's the biggest reason that they won this trade, especially adding Andre Drummond. I think is going to be a big thing for them. Adding Seth Curry and his shooting is going to be huge for them.
And 2 first-round picks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the picks as well. I mean, that's going to be huge for their future. So I think that Ben Simmons, like you said, will be able to play more of a role that like suits him with the Nets because of the pieces that they have already. But I do think in some situations, especially because Kyrie Irving is mostly only able to like play away games and stuff right now as their PG. I think that Ben Simmons could get tossed in that role still, or we might see some interesting packages where like they throw Seth Curry in as the one and just have Ben Simmons do what he needs to do at whatever position they want to play him at. So I think the Nets definitely got better here. I mean, they get rid of James Harden and they have enough pieces and enough dynamic scorers and stuff like that to do some interesting things. So they've been struggling lately. I don't know that that'll keep up with this trade.
Yeah, I do want to make it known that the Nets have lost 10 straight and the Knicks just beat the Golden State Warriors
Back on top.
Yeah. Where's their stadium now? San Francisco? In San Francisco. So you make the judgment of who the better team is, but
oh my God.
Yeah, no. So the crazy thing I just looked up was that it's a 2022 first round pick, not crazy, and a 2027 protected first round pick. But that potential 2027 pick could roll over all the way to 2029. How the fuck are you able to trade picks that far in advance? Like, what the fuck?
It's so
That's
dumb.
wild.
NBA trades get so weird. 4 teams involved and protected picks way down the line and stuff like that. The Nets are just out here they're planning for KD to be gone. They're getting ready for that already.
We're gonna have a draft where only the OKC Thunder and Sam Presti have picks. It's only the Thunder.
It's gonna happen.
It's only a Thunder draft.
They're talking about well, I guess the deadline's passed now, but they were talking about Jeremy Grant potentially getting traded as well. I can't speak today either. We're in the same boot. We're in the same boat, Luke. Neither of us can speak today, but we'll push through it. But yeah, it's crazy how many picks the Thunder have just going year to year now.
Yeah, but about the trade, pretty much you guys said it all. Listen, James Harden is a great basketball player. It comes down to the fact of like, who do you want to deal with in your locker room? And it's becoming so much more prevalent in the NBA today with just how much of like these superstars, like they are locker room issues. Like you didn't hear about the locker room issues as much. I want to say even 10 years ago, like there was maybe a guy or two in the NBA, same in the NFL, but now in the NBA, especially, like there's probably like 10 guys I could list off and be like, do you want them on your team? Like, I know they're good, but do you want them? And like 2 of those guys got traded in this trade in Ben Simmons and James Harden. So listen, they're both talented players. I definitely do want to see Ben Simmons succeed as much as dipshit that he is, because listen, he's talented as hell. He's an all NBA defender. He's really great at facilitating the game. So listen, if he's put in a position like at the 4 where he doesn't really, the pressure isn't on him to shoot as much, I think that'll be where he can thrive. But listen, I do think that the Nets won this trade, especially getting Andre Drummond and Seth Curry. Seth Curry, I think, was the piece that blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, you got Seth Curry out of this. It was a great bench piece, or even he could start for you. Playoffs last year. Yeah, seriously, he's always been great in the playoffs, and he's really elevated his game. Was he even drafted? Do you second round pick? I don't even remember. I don't even think he was. I don't remember. But he's a guy that had to fight his way onto NBA rosters. You know, the forgotten brother of Steph, and he's made carved quite the path for himself in the NBA, and he's done some great stuff. So I think the Nets definitely won this trade. But listen, if the Sixers, if James Harden has like an all-time connection with Joel Embiid, which it could happen. It could be a John Stockton, Karl Malone kind of thing going on there. But so if that happens, listen, the Sixers could very well get to the NBA finals. They're that talented of a team. So it could all work out for the Sixers. I'm starting to get the feel that this Nets team is closer to blowing up than we all thought. I think this experiment is about a year or two from being over because of Kevin Durant's the only guy in there that is like not an issue. Like, yeah, he gets injured, but he's one of the only superstars where he just, oh shit, I just hit my mic. Sorry. He's one, we're guys, I can't even tell you. It's not our day. It's not our day, but we're going to push through.
Fine.
Yeah. He's one of the only superstars in the NBA today. Just goes with the flow. He's just like, all right, yeah, I'm just going to show up, play basketball, and then go home. Like Kevin Durant is so not an issue. But listen, I'm glad that both these guys got out of their respective places. So maybe they can shut the hell up and just play basketball now. And we don't got to hear about them in every news headline. So we'll see what happens. But I think both teams got better. I think that's fair.
Let me just say, I think if this doesn't work out, and it already looks like it's not working out now that James Harden isn't even there, but like if this doesn't work out, I think the Nets as an organization, I know that they've been through some ownership issues over the years and some changes, but the Nets as just an organization have to reconsider things, because back in 2013, what did they do? They traded for a big three. They went ahead and got Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Jason Terry, and they do the same thing over again.
Yep. Like
all you're doing is throwing the same things at the wall. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over again and thinking that they, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Real quick, Seth Curry did go undrafted in the 2013 draft. He was picked up by the Warriors and then spent 2 months with the team before being waived. But I agree. I think that what you're saying about the Nets is fair. And you could even look at the 76ers. And I mean, if this trade doesn't work out for them, it's like, where do we go from here? You know, what's the next step if this doesn't go well? And you got to look at James Harden too. And it's like, does he almost end up in a Russell Westbrook type view where it's like you send him anywhere and he's not really doing what he needs to do to make a team better or to put a team in a winning position? It could be a problem.
We're entering this era of superstars that are not winners. Cause like you look at the Westbrooks, you look at Harden right now. Listen, Kevin Durant, he's a guy that because of his personality, he can go anywhere and win. We saw it in Golden State because like I just said, he's unproblemamek. Yeah, he has his
ball
Twitter,
and that's it.
Yeah, he has his Twitter beefs, but that's not affecting him in the locker room or on the court. So whatever. But it's like James Harden's like this. Russell Westbrook, he does not have personality issues. It's just his play style is not conducive to like playing a big three like we're seeing in LA. But you see these guys. I think Damian Lillard is a guy that is a winner. I think because he again, no attitude. He checks his attitude at the door and he plays ball. Like we're entering this era of guys that you need to be able to understand. Like, yes, we just had the superstars rule the NBA for a decade, but now it's like, listen, look at the guys that are winning. Look at the Steph Currys. Steph Curry is the most he took a player, one of the two players in the NBA that were actually better than him, allowed him to come on the team and take the shine. Mm-hmm. Like that, the amount of balls that takes is fucking, the amount of humility that takes is unreal. Good for him for doing that. So I just think superstars, and look at Giannis. Giannis, another one. Giannis is like the most likable guy in the NBA. Players want to play with him. Devin Booker and Chris Paul, they work. Why? Because they just want to play ball, and none of them have an ego. Yep. So those are the guys that win. So when I start to see these character issues, I'm really starting to question if these guys are ever going to be winners. In their career.
And I know you tweeted recently, Jake, on the Totally Unqualified Twitter. If you're not following, be sure to do that. Quick plug. But that we're it's almost like we're moving out of that super team era. And it's starting to feel that way for sure. Like you can have a star and then you can have a couple like role players around them and still be successful. And I feel like that really kind of started with the Suns. Because you have Devin Booker, who's a very good player. You have Chris Paul, who is also a very good player. And then they've just kind of built around that. And they have a lot of really good role players, but none of them are necessarily like superstars, so to speak, or they're not like top 5 players in the league or anything like that. And they've been successful doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and they built through the draft. They hit on a lot of the only draft picks they missed on was Josh Jackson at 4th overall. Other than that, DeAndre Ayton's been a stud. I know you forgot about Josh Jackson, right?
Yeah, right.
Mikal Bridges, who they drafted 10th overall, who I wanted the Knicks fantastic. He's a great 3-and-D player. It's a great player. So it's just, you see these well-run organizations. The Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler was kind of like, other than like, Jimmy Butler was kind of the first guy to be like, he joined those super teams. He joined Minnesota, if you can call Minnesota a super team. He joined the 76ers. Like he was on those super teams and he just got sick of it. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go down to Miami. I'm gonna be the best player there and I'm gonna do my own thing. And Miami's built a hell of a team around him. They gave him the proper role players and they were in the NBA finals 2 years ago. Giannis is a superstar. They built a team around. Like, it's starting to go back. And I think like when they say, sports are cyclical, I'm kind of starting to see that. Like it's going back to that era in the 90s where you had 1 or 2 superstars and then you built the team around him, and that's it. None of these superstars went to the same team. I hope it gets back to that. And I feel like NBA basketball is so much better when you have a superstar on each team, and it's just all of them going at it.
And you know what we're starting to see again is the big man taking over. You're starting to see Joel Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, AD, all these guys. They're starting to become the best players in the league, and rightfully so. We're going full 180.
Yep. So there were more trades that happened before. Just
but
so
we're there though. We're there.
I know. But yes. So, Luke, I want to get your opinion on the Goran Dragic, getting added to the Toronto Raptors for Thad Young to the Spurs and some protected first round picks, and Drew Eubanks, who I would be lying if I knew who that was. But Luke, what'd you think of the trade your team pulled off? It
was the other way around. We sent Goran Dragic for Thad Young, and honestly, I don't care. Like, if I'm being honest, straight up honest, I don't care. Goran Dragic barely played for us. He didn't want to be on the team. He was on your team. I didn't know he was on the Raptors. Yeah, exactly. He didn't want to be on the team to begin with. He said that he didn't want to play for that organization. He didn't want to be part of a rebuild. So you know what? Fuck Goran Dragic. Are you kidding me? Get him off the squad. Thad Young, meh. I mean, they needed a big guy. Thad Young's 34 years old, so not very young to me. But I mean, they needed someone to fill up the paint. Thad Young, not really that guy. But I mean, at least he'll play, and at least he won't just refuse to play for the team. So, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I feel that. I mean, it's not a blockbuster. It's not anything like that. I think from the offseason to now, we kind of knew that Dragic was going to get moved at some point or another. And I feel like this is a decent enough move. I feel like you picked up players that are actually going to play, that are going to do good things for you, that fill a need. And you picked up some picks out of it too. So, I mean, you get rid of a guy that doesn't want to be there. You get some guys that are actually going to do some things for you. So not huge, but it serves its purpose.
Yeah.
So along with the Goran Dragic trade, we also had Serge Ibaka get traded to the Bucks and Marvin Bagley get traded to the Pistons, who is trying to salvage his career after being taken second overall out of Duke all those years ago. Do you guys have anything, Gage, you have anything to say about these two trades that happened?
Serge Ibaka to the Bucks, I think, is good. I don't think it does anything huge for them, but he's a great player. He's a great big, and I think that he fills a need. I think that he will be great for them defensively. Marvin Bagley to the Pistons. If you're trying to salvage your career, I don't know that Detroit is really where you want to end up. But you know what? It's a new location. Maybe he'll figure some things out there. Maybe they'll be able to use him and he'll be able to look better and, kind of work towards salvaging that and getting better, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, Marvin Bagley is at least going to get minutes on Detroit. So that's opportunity for him. That's kind of what he just needed, is opportunity to show that he could improve. Serge Ibaka is the guy that I want the Raptors to trade for. Obviously, I mean, he won us the chip. He's been I mean, it's a perfect fit. You've already seen what he could do for the organization. Kind of sucks that he didn't go to the Raptors, obviously, but the Bucks got one hell of a player. He has some injury history. He's getting up there in age, so he's not the Serge Ibaka of old. Not the perennial in the conversation for defensive player of the year or Serge Ibaka, but he's a presence on defense, one that the Bucks needed, and I'd say they got better.
Yeah, I think Serge Ibaka just makes sense with that Bucks team. I think he fits in there great. And then with Marvin Bagley, he was so talented, man. I really hope he salvages his career, because man, like, how many Duke players flop? It's rare. Like, it's rare.
Yeah.
Coach K knows how to coach him up. And
Zion.
Marvin Bagley, again with Zion though, like, come on.
I don't know.
Yeah,
when he's
Zion,
on the court, he's great.
I will die on
Zion. It's a Greg Oden situation with Zion. It's like, is he going to be another? Greg Oden was phenomenal when he was on the court, but he couldn't stay on the court. He always got injured.
About being on the court.
Exactly.
Coach K is like the Nick Saban of college basketball.
Honestly, he is. Yeah. John Calipari will churn him out every once in a while. 100%. Yeah, but I feel like he's had more flops than Coach K has had. But listen, Marvin Bagley, hell of a player. I mean, there's a reason he got taken second overall. He was really good in college. And listen, he'll get playing time with the Pistons. He should have gotten playing time with the Kings. It's the fucking Sacramento Kings. What do they got on there? What do they got? What talent do they have on that team? So some notable trades went down. The Knicks and the Lakers did not execute a single trade at the trade deadline. You can imagine my dismay that the Knicks didn't make a single trade at the trade deadline.
Apparently the Lakers were trying like hell to get Cam Reddish and it just did not go through.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that listen, I don't think who are the Knicks going to take from the they want we're past Knicks fans should be past Russell Westbrook. I don't want him anymore. Russell Westbrook's one of those guys that's not going to add anything to your team. He might get you he's going to put up some nice stats, but other than that, can you imagine Russell Westbrook and Julius Randle in the same court? That'd be god awful. Holy shit. That would be terrible. But so the Lakers have put themselves in a situation where the only piece that's disposable that teams might want is Talen Horton-Tucker. And I don't know what you're getting for Talen Horton-Tucker because it's not much.
Held on to him too long, kind of got exposed.
Yeah. So the whole point with that LeBron going, you can go with a veteran team, but just know when you go to make some trades, people want young players. Teams want young players. All right.
And their young players aren't great.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to hold on to most of their veterans other than Westbrook. Nobody wants Westbrook. And their young players aren't good enough for people to want to make a move for them.
Yeah, exactly. So they put themselves in this situation. So they got to deal with it. But yeah, the Knicks thing, listen, it looks good now because they won in Golden State that Julius Randle actually played phenomenally. And Cam Reddish, Tom Thibodeau, what do you know? You put him on the court and he fucking performs. Wow, what a concept, Tom. But yeah, Cam Reddish looked great. RJ Barrett's out in a walking boot now. It just, when it rains, it pours. So the good news is that he's looking like he's going to come back at the same time Derrick Rose comes back. So we'll get 2 key players back. So we'll see what happens. But listen, I'm not giving up on my Knicks as hard as that is for me to say. And that this team has just grabbed my gut from under me. So I will hope that they can go on a run after winning in Golden State and just because it's like the same team from last year. It's the same team. And I think Julius Randle, maybe his confidence will go up now that he doesn't have to deal with the talks of RJ Barrett being better than him, which he is at this point, with RJ Barrett sharing the same court as him. So I don't know. Hopefully they turn it around, but I was kind of pissed that they didn't make a trade.
It happens.
All right. And now joining us is El Sped from TikTok. He's near and dear to our hearts. He does all the editing for our Instagram page and posting on that. He works his ass off for us, so we wanted to welcome him on the show. Let's give him I think he deserves
finally.
A round of applause. Let's give him a round of applause. Welcome. Yeah, no better time. This is the best episode. So Sped, you know better than everybody. Guess that player. You want to be part of it. So we're going to start out here. You guys are going to ask me questions. NFL player still playing just to get it out there so we can get right to the good questions. I will give you one thing. It's not a typical position that we do. So that's the only hint I'm going to give you. Now go ahead. Fire away.
Is he a special teamer?
Yes, he is a special teamer.
Is he a punter on the Raiders?
He's not a punter on the Raiders. I don't even know what the punter is on the Raiders.
I'm gonna go deep here. Is it Matthew Slater?
It is not Matthew Slater.
Okay. Does he kick the ball?
He does kick the ball. Yes.
Was he a Pro Bowler?
He might have been. I don't know if he was a Pro. Fuck, I gotta have that information for you guys. Hold on. You ask me more.
Whoa!
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Does he play for an AFC team?
He does play for an AFC team. He was not a Pro Bowler. Not a Pro Bowler.
Is it Evan McPherson?
He's not Evan McPherson.
Is he a punter?
He's not a punter.
Brandon McManus.
No.
Ooh, okay. AFC kicker. Justin Tucker.
He's not Justin Tucker. Sped definitely has like a picture of NFL teams on his wall he's looking at right now.
Playoff team.
Yeah. No, they just missed the playoff.
No, not a playoff team. Just missed the playoff.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
It is Rodrigo Blankenship. There you
go. Okay.
Good call, Sped.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Got it like right at a minute, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
All right.
Need to be on that scoreboard.
Woo.
You've been wanting that too.
He's been dying for it. I know he hates watching us like go forever getting it wrong. So
listen. I think nothing will be better than my Brock Lesnar.
That was honestly one of the best of all time.
Max Crosby was fucking impressive. That was really good.
That was good. That was the best of all time. I would say Brock Lesnar.
That was the best team effort I've seen with the right to the Raiders.
Brock Lesnar I think was impressive. Max Crosby was more luck, but
yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. But yes, now we could talk some football now that we've got Sped on here and he just won the Guess That Player. So he's nice and primed and warmed up. NFL honors took place this weekend. It always does during Super Bowl weekend. And we got some players that deserve to win, finally winning. No better place to start than with Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. So let's just get some thoughts on that. Sped, if you want to start us off, man.
Yeah, no, TJ 100% deserved it. I don't even think it should have been any other votes getting thrown anywhere else. Obviously, people were wanting Micah Parsons to be in the conversation, but I don't think he honestly should have been. People were upset that he didn't get the sack record. That's up to interpretation if you think that he deserved it. But I don't know.
He played in 15 games, right? So it would have held up in NFL history.
Yeah. So same amount of games, same amount of sacks.
Less games.
Yeah. Let's be real. He deserved it. There's no other guy that was going to win. I was on the Micah Parsons bandwagon for a little bit because I felt there was no defensive player on his in the NFL that has had a bigger impact on his team's success. Going from last year, you look at them having one of the all-time worst defenses, the 2020 or 2021 2020 Cowboys. It's 2022, weird years. I think him alone made that defense something special. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, DeMarcus Lawrence had another resurgence, Randy Gregory as well, but you look at Micah Parsons, he was that guy, but that's enough about Micah Parsons. TJ Watt was outstanding. I mean, tying the sack record. Sucks that he didn't get it. We were all kind of expecting to have a monster season or monster end of the season there to get that sack record, but fell a little bit short. He was the best. He was the best flat out all season long, and he probably should have won it last year. Definitely deserved to win it this year. We're looking at one of the best edge rushers of, the next decade right here. And he's still very young. And it was cool to see JJ Watt award him that, the DPOY too. That was a cool moment.
100%. Totally by design. And you look at TJ Watt and everything that he's done this season with the sack record and everything. And it's like, nobody else could have earned this. And in the words of someone very wise, he said, I took that personally. And TJ Watt 100% did when he got passed up by the AP voters for Aaron Donald last season because of, double team rates and stuff like that. And I get that, I understand that. I think that Aaron Donald deserved it because he's easily been the best defensive player in football for a while now, but TJ Watt tying the sack record the way that he did on a team that was mostly lackluster this season, I think is a great way to go ahead and earn that. And the JJ Watt thing, just chef's kiss. That was a perfect way to.
It was great.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say other than he was absolutely deserving of it, and there was nobody else that should have gotten the award. Moving on to some other notable awards: Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year, like we pretty much all knew at this point. Jamar Chase won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Micah Parsons, Penn State himself. He shouted out Penn State as one of his first things he said after he got on stage. But Mike Parsons, the first unanimous, is it just overall like any rookie of the year, first rookie of the year ever to be unanimous? I think it is.
Might be. I'm not sure.
I don't know, to be honest.
I think it was the first unanimous rookie of the year in any either offensive or defensive.
Go ahead and keep speaking, and I will do some research.
I'm pretty sure it was. But anyway, Luke, if you want to get us started with, you want to talk about my guy.
I just like Micah Parsons was that guy. He was one of the best defensive players. He played two positions. He played edge. He was great in coverage. And I didn't think he was going to translate too well, at least in terms of his coverage to the NFL. I thought it was going to take, at least a year or two, maybe to get him kick-started and, see NFL level speed of these wide receivers and running backs and tight ends and whatnot. But no, he translated so well. He was just as dominant in the NFL as he was at Penn State. He was everything and then some that the Cowboys would have wanted. As for Jamar Chase, I mean, this was easy. I don't know if you were thinking Mac Jones sped, because if you don't know, sped is a Patriots fan. If you couldn't tell by the million Patriots jerseys in his background, but Mac Jones had no chance. Mac Jones had no chance. It was Jamar Chase all the way. He had one of the best rookie wide receiver seasons we've ever seen. And I feel like we say that every single year now, like Justin Jefferson last year. I feel like OBJ back in 2014 had one of the best. Like, I feel like we've been seeing a big evolution of these college wide receivers that translate immediately to the NFL and don't just translate. They're at the top of the league, like top 10 already, which is a pretty cool little streak to see.
Amari Cooper is another one that had a great rookie season.
Yep. A lot of people forget about that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I completely agree that Jamar Chase deserved it. I made a video a few weeks before the award was given to him that he deserved it way more than Mac Jones ever did, and that I didn't think Mac Jones was ever the front runner. And so many people hated on me. I think I got like 30,000 views and 700 comments saying that, what do you mean he's not the front runner? He was never the front runner. Jamar Chase has been a stud since week 1 of the regular season, and Mac Jones all year looked like an average quarterback. He never looked like a top
Pro Bowler though. Pro Bowler.
Oh, we got into that in the last episode, whether he should have been Pro Bowler or not.
You've seen the pictures of Mitchell Trubisky with Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes comparing them, and I mean it's similar, except that Mitchell Trubisky is what Mac Jones wants to be, and so much more.
What
does Mac Jones have an MVP?
No. Oh, that's true. That's fair. That's a fair point.
Valid point.
That's a valid point.
The Mitch Trubisky MVP award.
MVP award, yes.
According to me.
And Dak Prescott too.
By the way, quick update. Micah Parsons is the first defensive rookie to be unanimous. I don't know about offensive. I wasn't able to find anything about that in this.
I can't think of one. I can't think of one
either. But as far as defensive, he was the first ever, which very much deserved, but we're talking about Jamar Chase here. And Jamar Chase, I think, had a fantastic season. I think that, honestly, more votes should have gone his way than they did. And I agree with Sped here. I think that Mac Jones looks really good in some games, but I think toward the end of the season, it was pretty telling, where he was at as far as his development and his career goes. Because when you have a defense as good as that, and then you have some pieces that are going to kind of help you out. And then you have a good game against the Bills where you only really need to hand the ball off. Things are going your way. And I think a lot of things went his way. And we've talked about it a few times. And I think that if you put like Trevor Lawrence in that same kind of situation, things might be a little bit different. And I like Mac Jones, and I think that he's going to be a great quarterback for the future. But I think that he still has some developing to do, and he still has a little ways to go before he's in that conversation where he can earn an award like this.
Yeah. As for me, I think these both were pretty obvious. This is one of the years where it's been a more obvious defensive and offensive rookie of the year. Usually the defensive rookie of the year is the biggest debate, but with Micah Parsons coming in, I mean, I knew he was going to dominate. Like
he was in the defensive player of the year conversation. I mean, how does he not win DROI?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So comeback player of the year. This one was pretty much signed, sealed, delivered. It was given to the king of the North himself, Mr. Joey B, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty. The man, the king of Cincinnati. I could go on and on with the superlatives, but Gage, if you want to start us off, I think this one was pretty deserving. What do you think of Joe Burrow winning it?
I think that Joe Burrow winning it is not a bad thing. Okay. I think that I would have given it to Nick Bosa 110%. After you tear your ACL, you come back and you have 15.5 sacks. When TJ Watt led the league in sacks last season with 15, this guy comes back and he was one of the biggest pieces on the 49ers. He was a huge part of their success, the biggest piece on that front seven that did fantastic things for them. And I know that there's people out there that are like, well, Joe Burrow did things that nobody was expecting him to do after coming back with this team and everything. And I get that to an extent, but I'm getting kind of, and I love Joe Burrow. I do. I'm getting kind of tired of all the, Joe Burrow did this. Joe Burrow led them here. Joe Burrow did this all by himself, because that is not what happened. Let's be honest about the situation. The defense has stepped up huge.
Okay, but it's a regular season award. It's a regular season award, Gage.
Yes, you're right. And in the last 3 weeks, he had 2 games where he threw for 500 yards but nobody talks about the loss to the Jets. Nobody talks about the games where he didn't play so well.
That was a fluke. That was a fluke.
Okay, but it happened, didn't it? And Nick Bosa played well all throughout the season. 15 and a half sacks. He led the league in tackles for loss. To not be even considered is absolutely blasphemous to me. To not earn a vote. Derwin James got one vote. Nobody else got one. Just Dak Prescott and just Joe Burrow. I'm not mad at Joe Burrow winning. It's fine. But Nick Bosa not even being considered is fucking ridiculous.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you that he should have been considered, but the fact that he should have, I don't know if he should have won it, but it's bad if you want to respond to Gage's firestorm right there.
He knows what I'm about to say. I completely agree with him.
Nick
Bosa not only deserved to be first, Dak Prescott deserved to be second.
What? No.
Joey Burrow, right? First of all, everybody wants to say Joe Burrow changed that culture. He changed that team. You can argue the culture part. You can't argue the team part, in my opinion. He has a top 5, borderline top 5 wide receiver right now in Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
He had arguably one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen by a wide receiver. You can argue Odell in 2014 or Randy Moss in 98.
I know where he's going with that.
Then you have Joe Mixon, who was a 1,000-yard rusher, and there's only 6 other 1,000-yard rushers. Then you get to Dak Prescott, right? Who statistically was better, right?
Okay, but he didn't perform well. He didn't perform. You're going to tell me, Dak, you're going to sit here and tell me that Dak Prescott performed well the last half of the season? Because he didn't.
He didn't?
No.
How did he have better stats?
When?
He was making terrible throws. He was not the same player. He blew some games. That 14-second play, it should not take you 14 seconds.
But you could say it in the opposite direction too. Dak Prescott, I think, had a significantly better first half of the season than Joe Burrow did. But because the second half of the season is more recent, Joe Burrow all of a sudden gets the nod.
But look at it this way. Dak Prescott should have done more with what he had. He has better wide receivers. I think Amari Cooper
better
and CeeDee
wide
Lamb,
receivers.
I think Amari Cooper
where?
and CeeDee Lamb.
Amari
Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup are better than
Michael
the trio
Gallup was hurt for a lot of the season.
Okay,
Michael Gallup didn't even play. You got who? Cedric Wilson, and Cedric Wilson's not a bad player.
Cedric Wilson played well.
He did, but because of who? Because of Dak Prescott.
I just think Dak Prescott was not on his shit this year. Yes, he put up gaudy stats, but who wasn't going to put up gaudy stats in that offense?
He was the best quarterback over the last month of the season. Over the last month of the season, he was the best quarterback in the league. And honestly, to today, he's been playing like the best quarterback in the league, outplaying Patrick Mahomes, outplaying some of these other guys. Ryan Tannehill obviously is not that great, but
you just
been
outplaying everybody. Award, and you're bringing up the playoffs, though.
No. I'm saying the last 2 weeks that he
Ryan Tannehill, but he threw 0 touchdowns and 1 interception in that game.
Yeah, but the last 2 weeks that he played in the regular season, you can't tell me that he wasn't if not the best player in the world.
It's a regular season award, not a last month of the season award.
Right,
yeah, and he was guess
Joe Burrow's PFF rating this year. Guess Joe Burrow's PFF rating.
Are we doing PFF ratings?
I'm just saying. Guess it. Yes. 92. Dak Prescott 83.
I'm not saying that he was bad this season. I'm not saying that by any means, but to say that he carried this team to where they are is laughable. And I'm tired of people. Oh, no, he didn't.
What other quarterback operates like that with a bottom 5 of the league offensive line?
Why are we acting like Joe Burrow is the first quarterback to play well with a bad fucking offensive line?
Because I'm telling you from experience, Russell Wilson has had the defenses, he's had the offenses, and he couldn't get to the Super Bowl with a trashy ass offensive line, getting sacked 9 times. No quarterback in history. No quarterback in history.
Ryan Tannehill 3 times.
No quarterback in history. No, absolutely.
Shut down Patrick Mahomes and he had a 1 point.
They shut him down the first half. They shut him down the first half. Or did they play terrible in the first half and Joe Burrow had to keep them in the game? Wait, no.
Terrible.
Regular season award, though. Regular season award. Regular season award, though.
Yeah, you're right. It is a regular season award, and he didn't play. Okay.
Wait.
No.
Continue where you're going to say. You were going to say he didn't play well in the regular season.
No. He did play well in the regular season. Like
4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns.
Yes. Yep. He played well in the regular season.
Second year in the NFL.
But why do we keep bouncing back to that? Why do we keep, it's only his second year in the NFL. Who gives a shit?
That's
It is based on this season and Nick Bosa
did
things that guys couldn't do. I just can't. I can't agree. I think Joe Burrow is getting to the point where he is getting grossly overrated. I am not willing to put him top 5. I'm not willing to put him top 3.
I didn't put him top 5.
I'm not saying that you did. I'm not targeting you specifically with that, but I'm getting to the point where it's like, it's getting ridiculous. I get that the guy's likable, and I know that's why people want to rate him higher than he is, but to say that he did everything this season by himself, that he carried this team to where they are.
Nobody's saying that.
Defense played fantastic. They have a great secondary.
Yes.
Trey Hendrickson was a huge pickup.
Yes.
And he had a ridiculous amount of sacks. Joe Burrow is a fantastic quarterback. He's playing very well, and I think that he has the potential to be top 5, top 3. But I can't.
If he wins the Super Bowl, is he top 5?
No, I don't take the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl. That's a team stat. Wins are a team stat, and I'm not.
If he wins the Super Bowl MVP,
if he plays extremely well, if he wins the Super Bowl, wins Super Bowl MVP, and he is the reason that they won the Super Bowl, then sure, I'll be willing to move him up. But to come out and say that
But that's not exactly a good reason to. Nick Foles is the reason they won the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
But so that's not a great reason to move him up. But listen, this is all I'm saying. Listen, Joe Burrow. When it comes to these awards, let's be real here. The AP voters are always going to go for the story. They're not going to go for always who deserves it. Okay.
100%. And I knew that Joe Burrow was going to win it for that reason.
Yes.
I am.
And you can't say that Joe Burrow wasn't in the conversation for being deserving of it.
He was 100% in the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he didn't deserve the award. I'm not saying that, and I'm not necessarily pissed off that he did win it.
Yes.
I'm saying I think that Nick Bosa was more deserving personally.
Okay.
And the fact that he was not considered at all, he did not deserve a vote, is blasphemous. And I am tired of quarterbacks getting all of this bias when it comes to the awards. If it were not for Defensive Player of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year, defensive players would not get awards ever.
Yeah.
And that's ridiculous.
I agree. I think Nick Bosa should have been in consideration. I don't think he necessarily should have won it, but I think he definitely should have been in consideration. Because you got to understand, yes, defensive players deserve more respect, and I am 100% on that. I think other positions as a whole deserve more respect because everybody just wants to, heap all the praise on the quarterback, and I get that. But when you look at the Bengals, that had 2 wins 2 years ago, 4 wins last year, and then you look at the immediate change.
We were looking at
what happened.
6 wins max. People were,
and then they go out and win the AFC North. They had 4 wins last year, and then they go out and win the AFC. And I'm not saying the defensive pieces definitely helped. Defensive pieces definitely helped, but Joe Burrow played great this year.
He did.
He played phenomenally this year,
and he played great this year.
And he brought his team from worst to first. Dak Prescott he brought his team from second to first. That's okay.
And they had 4 wins last year in a season where Joe Burrow played 10 games.
Yes.
Who had more of an impact?
And one of those wins was with
success?
Brandon Allen, right?
Who had more of an impact on their team's success this year, Joe Burrow or Nick Bosa? You can't tell me it's
Nick Bosa.
You can't tell me it's Nick Bosa.
I can't tell you that it's Nick Bosa.
No.
The secondary is you named one piece of their secondary. Who else is on their secondary? Don't type.
Gage,
don't use your keyboard.
Gage.
Didn't the 49ers have
I'll
the
give
third
you one thing.
overall pick and they drafted a backup quarterback?
Unless you want to give the success to Jimmy Garoppolo.
You can't really say they drafted a backup quarterback because if we're going off the first year of the Kansas City Chiefs, then with Alex Smith, they drafted a backup quarterback. So we can't really say anything about Trey Lance until
to be fair, the one who deserves
the
most.
I'm talking about right now.
The one who deserves the most credit for the 49ers success is one Kyle Shanahan, in my opinion.
Gage, would you rather, if you lose Deebo Samuel or Nick Bosa, which player keeps the 49ers from getting to the playoffs?
Which player keeps the 49ers?
If they lost Deebo Samuel or they lost Nick Bosa, which of those players keeps them from getting to the playoffs?
If you keep Deebo Samuel and lose Nick Bosa, you can score all the points you want, but you can't stop anybody from scoring.
Eric Armstead isn't stopping anybody.
by himself without Nick Bosa.
They got a great
without that
defensive line, not by himself. Fred Warner isn't anybody. Fred Warner's not doing anything.
How's Fred Warner going to sack anybody when he's the only one they've got in coverage?
He's not. They got a great defensive line. He's not. They got a great defensive line.
Nick Bosa is the one getting to the quarterback. Nick Bosa led
Eric
the league in
Armstead
tackles
is too.
for loss. He's no.
We
He's not
need,
gonna
we
do
need
it
to move
by
on. We need to
himself.
move on. We need to
No,
move on. Let's agree to disagree.
Deebo Samuel's a great player. I think that you could lose him and have George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Elijah Mitchell, pieces that are huge for that offense.
I would disagree.
And I think that, I mean, you would miss Nick Bosa more than you would miss Deebo Samuel.
All right,
we'll
let's just move through these. Cooper Kupp, Offensive Player of the Year. Pretty much everybody expected that. Coach of the Year,
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel. A little bit. There was a debate there. MVP, Luke's guy, Aaron Rodgers, and then Walter Payton Man of the Year was Andrew Whitworth. So any of those that you guys want to, just have any thoughts on?
Yeah, let me hear it, Sped.
Okay, so I'll just go to MVP. I wonder who Sped thinks MVP should have gone to. I wonder. So I said this the other day, and Mr. Luke over here responded to me. I said if Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady flipped stat lines, I think the MVP award would have gone to Aaron Rodgers. I firmly believe Aaron Rodgers' name holds the same weight that Peyton Manning's did, which is the same reason. And about 2008, 2009, Peyton Manning stole the MVP from Drew Brees. I think we're seeing the same exact thing just about 13 years later. The NFL loves to give it to the players that they love the most. And I think Tom Brady has been painted as the villain of the NFL.
You think they love Aaron Rodgers after this year? Dude, he lied to the NFL about his vaccine status. He lied to the NFL about his vaccine status.
Tom Brady brought Antonio Brown back into the NFL.
Who gives Antonio Brown was very benign at the beginning of the year, and like everybody, Antonio Brown wasn't doing anything.
God, bringing Antonio Brown back, the media just eating it up, just loving it.
Are you kidding? If you think Tom Brady was more hated than Aaron Rodgers this year, you're insane.
I'm not saying this year. I'm just saying his whole career. He's been painted as the NFL villain.
Career, fine, but like the MVP is just focusing on this year.
I mean, you also have voter bias. Do you not?
I don't think anybody was biased for Aaron Rodgers this year.
If anything, they were biased against him because
I agree with
that one voter.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers doesn't deserve it because I think he does, but genuinely, I'm looking at Tom Brady's PFR and it comes up with all of his nicknames. It's funny. I don't think anybody really deserved MVP this year. If I'm going to be honest,
Cooper Kupp.
No, I don't think Cooper Kupp. Because listen,
it's so bad.
Listen. A wide receiver is never going to win the award. It's always going to be a quarterback.
Why though?
Because the quarterback is the most valuable position, not only in just football. So it's rigged. So just admit the award. So have an award. So have a specific award for best quarterback in the NFL that year, and then give the MVP to the actual most valuable player to a team that year. Listen, I'm with you on that. Tom Brady, for most of the year, I thought he was the front runner for the MVP for a majority of the season. The reason Tom Brady lost the MVP award was week 15 at home against the New Orleans Saints, where he got shut out. Yeah, where he got shut out. And from that point on, it was a really close race between him and Tom Brady, between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, because of that moment, because Tom Brady didn't show up that game and, threw the game away in a lot of aspects. Rodgers was the easy one. And there's not enough weeks to really salvage that, get that taste out of your mouth. Like there was, the week 1 loss. You could argue, the Packers had a similar loss to the Saints earlier in the season. But after that, from then on, I think Aaron Rodgers was almost like perfect. I mean, not exactly perfect, but, I think he was deserving, but I'm not going to sit here and act like he was miles better ahead of Tom Brady. I think there's a reason why Tom Brady lost the MVP, and it was because of his own play. And I think we just have to chalk it up at that.
I think that, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And I think that it makes sense because it's just like we were talking about with and I'm not going to get back into this. I'm just using it as an example, kind of like the Joe Burrow thing where he played very well the last month of the season or whatever you want to say. Tom Brady's losses to the Saints, where he looked very bad, or a lot more recent than Aaron Rodgers lost to the Saints in week 1. So it is very easy to remember. You look at it and you're like, what is Tom Brady doing? And it happened twice. So I think that the race was very close. And it is similar to the TJ Watt, Aaron Donald thing last season,
100%.
where all of a sudden the voters are like, okay, efficiency is the way that we want to go here. And that is exactly what they went with. They went with the guy that had less interceptions, the guy that didn't necessarily have the counting stats, but the guy that looked very good as far as all of the efficiency stats and that kind of stuff. So Aaron Rodgers ends up being the MVP in this situation. And I don't think that he necessarily doesn't deserve it, but I do think that it genuinely could have gone either way. I think that the voting could have been a little closer. I think that it was heavily in favor of Aaron Rodgers, which was a little odd in my opinion. But at the same time, when you see a guy be the first team all-pro quarterback, you can kind of expect him to also win the MVP, considering they're the same voters.
We knew he was going to win weeks ago.
Yeah.
I love how if you look up Dak Prescott's Pro Football Reference, he has the 2022 Nickelodeon Valuable Player as one of the achievements that he has in bright orange right there. It's 2-time Pro Bowler, 2016 AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2022 MVP. So that just lets you know the prestige of the Nickelodeon Valuable Player Award. As for the MVP, listen, I think you could have given it to a bunch of guys this year. I do think that if we're going to go with most valuable player, I think Cooper Kupp deserved it this year. I think it was either Cooper Kupp or dare I say Jonathan Taylor. Like really, if you're going to actually like get into the nitty gritty of like which player is most valuable to their team, like Matt Stafford had some pretty shitty games this year, like throughout the season.
He was up and down.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp was consistent every week, 100 yards or at least a couple touchdowns, like pretty much every damn week. And it's listen, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers both played great. I think Aaron Rodgers separated himself at the end of the year, and I think it was always going to be Aaron Rodgers by the time that came around. So you could say, yes, Tom Brady had a bunch of very impressive stats this season. He was definitely in the conversation. I think Aaron Rodgers, it's more impressive that Aaron Rodgers won it this year because of how hated he was in the media. So I don't know. I think it could have gone to either one. I don't think Aaron Rodgers stole it by any means. I think Aaron Rodgers was very deserving of it. So we'll just leave it at that. As for coach of the year, I think Mike Vrabel definitely deserved it. It was either him or Zach Taylor, but leading your team to the number 1 seed with that offense without Derrick Henry for a lot of the year, like that's pretty damn impressive. So good for Mike Vrabel. I think he definitely.
I'm wondering what Matt LaFleur has to do to win one of these days. I mean,
well, the voting, Matt LaFleur was second in voting, right?
Yeah, no, Mike Vrabel definitely deserved it, and I thought he was going to win it too. I just think Matt LaFleur is going to have to go undefeated one year.
Everybody thought it was going to be Vrabel and Taylor. Those were the top 2 guys.
True.
Taylor was 4th in voting.
Bisaccia was in there.
He received 2 votes. Vrabel got 36 votes. LaFleur got 8. Bisaccia got 3, and Taylor got 2. And also Belichick got 1.
Look at 2 of the coach of the year candidates on the Packers coaching staff. You just gotta love that for an NFC championship loss next year. Let's fucking go.
NFC championship loss next year.
Maybe not
Jordan Love leading the squad. And then shout out to the Walter Payton Man of the Year, Andrew Whitworth. Great story came out about him and Joe Burrow. So if you guys haven't heard about that, just state that when Joe Burrow got injured, Andrew Whitworth really helped him out in that recovery process. So it's a really touching story. I think you can search it up on YouTube. They did a whole presentation on it. It was really cool. But let's move on to the Super Bowl, the big game, as most advertisers will say, because they don't want to pay the money to pay for the copyright to actually say the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Super Bowl 56, Bengals versus Rams. I never thought I would say that combination in my whole entire life. Rams are favored by 4 points. Tyler Higbee has just been announced as out. CJ Uzama it does look like he will be playing in the game. So that's good so the Bengals, it's looking like we'll have their starting tight end. Rams, not so much. So Sped, you're our guest. I will start with you. Who do you think wins? What's your score prediction? What do you think is going to happen in this Super Bowl this year?
Okay. So I don't really have any reason to root for any team in this. And the whole reason that I'm choosing to root for the Rams is because of Sony Michel, the guy that I have right here. Not a fan of him. Okay. I want to put that out there. I hate him so much. He gave me so much false hope. And I thought we had a new Georgia running back going to lead us to a few more rings. and he became like the slowest, version of Eddie Lacy we've ever seen.
Whoa.
But-
Whoa.
but-
I
What?
think Eddie
But-
Lacy was slower.
2 shots.
That being said, I do think the Rams are a better overall team. I saw Luke tweet out, what position do you think wins between the Bengals and the Rams? And I had Rams for almost everything, except I gave the Bengals linebacker. I feel like you could argue either side, but I think Logan Wilson is the better linebacker on both sides of the ball. Or both teams.
I think Jermaine Pratt, honestly, is up there too. They're kind of, I think it's kind of a wash there, but
yeah. Either way, I have the Rams winning, and I think it's going to be a decently close game. I have it being 31-21. I think the Rams might pull away at the end of the game after having like a 3-point lead maybe, and then score a touchdown or something like that.
Okay. All right. I like it.
All right, I'll go next. I'm in the same boat. I also have the Rams winning this one. I'll just come out and say it. I think the stars are going to shine the brightest in La La Land, and the Rams have home field advantage because
Even though they're the away team. Even though they're the away team.
They're the away team, and they don't have that much of a great fan base to begin with. And it's not like actual fans are going to this game. It's going to be all celebrities, because who the fuck is paying $10,000 to go to a game?
Ridiculous.
I think the Bengals are being a little bit overlooked in this matchup in terms of just like their roster. Like you said, Sped, you thought that the Rams had a way better roster in like almost every single position group. I don't necessarily see it that way. I think maybe the Rams have a better let's talk offensive first. I will take Matthew Stafford over Joe Burrow right now. But in terms of running backs, maybe you could say the Rams have a better like group of running backs between Sony Michel and Cam Akers coming back and all their guys.
Darrell Henderson.
Darrell Henderson. I think they're not going to be able to showcase all of those guys, because it's one game. So I'm going with just the star and Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon could have a very good game. It all kind of depends on the Bengals O-line. And that's the biggest part about this game is the Bengals offensive line. How are they going to hold up against this ferocious Rams front seven? And I don't necessarily see them having too much success in that area. I think it's going to be a lot of Joe Burrow in this game. I feel like they're probably going to be playing from behind, and they're going to be hoping for Joe Burrow to come back like he did against the Chiefs. And I just don't think that he's going to be able to get it done because of how ferocious that front seven is of the Rams. Now, I think the Bengals overall, have a better secondary. I think Jalen Ramsey the Bengals have the better secondary. Jalen Ramsey is the best DB in this game. Don't get me wrong, but I think the lack of a presence for the Rams at the safety position. Eric Weddle's like a million years old. I know he led the team in tackles in the NFC Championship game, but you can't really hold on to that and trust that he's going to do something like that again. I think overall, the Bengals have the better secondary. They've been really underrated this whole season, just the whole Bengals defense in general. I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. I think when it comes down to it, if the Rams are down with like a minute and change left and they need a touchdown, I'm putting all my faith, all my money on Matthew Stafford to go out and win that game. It might come down to that. It might not. But I'm going to have the Rams winning. Let's say I'm going to go 31-27 Rams win, and that covers, right? Yeah. 4-point spread. Look at that. Rams cover.
First and foremost, this doesn't have a whole lot to do with my analysis of the game, but fuck Eli Apple. And then after that, I am also going to take the Rams in this game. I think that their veteran presence is going to be very hefty in this game. Aaron Donald has been here before, and I think that he's very hungry right now. Von Miller has been here before and won this game. And I think a lot of what you said is true. That O-line is definitely going to be in a position where they could potentially struggle against one of the best front sevens in all of football. The Rams made sure that it was going to be one of the best front sevens in all of football going into this. And then Eric Weddle, I'm never going to bet against another fantastically bearded man. I love Eric Weddle, and the fact that he led the team in tackles, I think says a lot about where he's at athletically right now. So I am not too concerned about him. Joe Burrow is going to have to throw the ball a lot for sure. He's going to be under pressure the entire game. And I think for the Bengals to win this, it is going to come down to a similar situation to the Titans game where this defense is going to have to step up a lot. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to make Matthew Stafford uncomfortable. They are going to have to get some turnovers, and I just don't know that I could see another 3 turnover game happening or something along those lines. I think that Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp are going to link up, and I think that this is definitely going to go the Rams' way. As far as the score prediction, I'm going to say maybe a little lower scoring than what you guys have it. I'm going to go 28-21. Still a one-score game. I think it'll be exciting, but I think that the Bengals are going to struggle a little bit more than they have so far this playoffs.
I think the person who wants to win this game the most is Mr. Andrew Whitworth. Could you imagine leaving the Bengals and then having the Bengals win a Super Bowl before you do?
Think about that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Could you imagine the mind fuck of that? Like, he's like, okay, I'm going to leave this organization that has no chance of ever getting to a Super Bowl in the next 20 years. I'm going to go to the Rams, who have a, young head coach, just drafted number 1 overall draft pick. Now this was at the time when Jared Goff was just selected, so he didn't know. So very promising future. They're back in LA. And then you're facing the Cincinnati Bengals with a chance for them to win a Super Bowl before you do. That's just got to be so tough for all those years he dedicated to his career, his Hall of Fame career in Cincinnati. But this man, I was going to pick the Rams, but I feel like
I think you have to pick the Bengals.
I think I do. I think I have to, because I can't, this can't be a clean sweep here.
Yeah.
And I've said I'm on the Bengals bandwagon.
You just had a fight over Joe Burrow.
I did. I think, you know what?
Fuck
it. I'm going the Bengals. Now, do I think the Rams are going to win this game? Yes, but I got to pick the Bengals on this segment. Because listen, they got Joey B himself. I don't know why. I just feel like this has been the playoffs of Big Balls Evan McPherson, trademarked by the Totally Unqualified Podcast. This has been the playoffs of Big Balls Evan McPherson, and in the likes of the Mr. Adam Vinatieri, the Sped knows very well. I think this Super Bowl could come down to a kick at the last minute drive down the field. And Evan McPherson, I could see that storyline of Evan McPherson being the guy that hits the game-winning kick to win the Super Bowl for the Bengals. I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means. I think the Bengals have too good of a defense for now. Listen, I think Cooper Kupp is going to get his. I don't think that's I think it's basically impossible. Every defensive coordinator in the NFL that's played the Rams this year is focused on stopping Cooper Kupp. None of them have been able to. So I just think it's out of the question to contain Cooper Kupp at this point. And Cam Akers is great. Matt Stafford's going to have a great game. I hope he does, at least first Super Bowl in his career, first playoff wins in his career. But listen, the Bengals, like I said, sometimes you just get those Cinderella teams. You look at the Giants. Look at the Giants in 2007. They were a wild card team. They were what? 9-6, 9-7 that year or something like that. 9-7 that year. Michael Strahan, if you're watching the Man in the Arena documentary, I just finished that episode yesterday with the Giants episode. Michael Strahan went into that year we're not going to win. Why am I coming back? This team has no chance at the playoffs. And then they go on a run. They fucking win the Super Bowl, and they beat Goliath. They beat the 16-0 New England Patriots. Sorry, Sped. But there's something to be said for these Cinderella teams. So listen, do I think the Rams are the better team in this game? And do I think the Rams should win? Yes. But I am going to pick the Bengals just because I want to see Joe Burrow finish off this storybook season, this storybook season for this franchise that nobody thought was ever going to do anything. And who are just going to crush the Cleveland Browns, that the Cincinnati Bengals won a Super Bowl before you fucking did. How about that? That's rough. That is rough. Two trash organization. How about the Cincinnati Bengals winning a Super Bowl for Lamar Jackson does? That's pretty fucking funny if you ask me. But
how about the Bengals winning a Super Bowl? That's
period.
Oh,
that's hilarious. But yeah, I think this is setting up to be one of the best Super Bowls of my lifetime. At least I personally think the best Super Bowl of my lifetime has still been the Eagles Patriots. The only reason it's not 28-3 is because I fucking hate the Patriots. So that's the only reason.
But you don't like Super Bowl 49? You're not a fan?
Shut up. Don't bring that shit up in front of me. No, Super Bowl 48 was fantastic though. But no, I think this is setting up to be a great Super Bowl. And whenever we think it's going to be a high scoring Super Bowl, what happens? It's a defensive. Always. It's always low scoring. So I think the Super Bowl is going to be super low scoring. I don't know why. I think Evan McPherson wins the Super Bowl 20-17, Cincinnati Bengals, last second drive. And And I think Joe Burrow solidifies himself in history with the first franchise Super Bowl win in Bengals history.
Damn.
If Evan McPherson makes the game-winning field goal like you think he will, does he win Super Bowl MVP?
No, you know who?
No, just like Adam Vinatieri didn't win
would
MVP
never.
of those Super Bowls. Yeah.
I'm
wouldn't
just saying
happen.
all the kicks he's made this postseason.
You know who
But
it's going to.
it's not like because does basketball do a postseason MVP award? They don't do a necessary finals MVP, right? Or is that hockey? Am I thinking of? I don't know. They do a finals MVP award in basketball.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, in hockey they do a playoffs MVP. Just like in general.
I like that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, like TJ Warren a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Bubble MVP.
Yeah.
I know
exactly.
I know we're all high on Evan McPherson, but I do just want to give a little more love to the other kicker on
Matt
the other
Gay.
side.
Some
Matt
respect.
Gay has been great this year as well.
It's also
48
good.
to 49 on extra points and 32 of 34 on field goals this season. He did get a Pro Bowl bid, so shout out him. He has been doing well also. Shout out to our special teams guys.
Big balls everywhere in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
big balls.
Enormous.
I mean, 4 for 4 in every single playoff game that he's played in. I mean, that's pretty fucking impressive, especially as a rookie to come in with the confidence to be like, guess we're going to the AFC Championship game. I don't know, like who says that? Like what? Yeah. The amount, just the size again, the size of the balls in that guy. It's just going to keep coming out.
Bothered, you know.
It does. All right.
Guys
well,
that
maybe
my
not.
Sexuality.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds, Andrew Garfield, Evan McPherson. Just throwing it out.
Fair point. All right.
Joe
Burrow.
Joe Burrow. He's up there.
Yeah.
Not as much recently.
By the way, the only reason my girlfriend knows who Joe Burrow does, I just found this out a couple days ago. She's like, I was talking about Joe Burrow. She goes, "Oh, that's the hot guy, right?" I was like, "Excuse me." I was like, "What?"
Hey, I mean, you're ginger. He's ginger.
It's
fair.
fair.
Correlation.
Fair.
You know?
He's not totally ginger. I mean, I guess he's kind of got my hair color because I'm not totally ginger
both
either.
Ohio State haters. I mean,
fair. No, he's not
a hater. Yeah.
He came out and said that he'll always be a Buckeye, which kind of, docked some points for me. Because why would you ever want to be with it? Why would you ever want to support the team that picked Dwayne Haskins over you?
If he didn't come back to Ohio, it'd probably be a little bit of a different story, but that's where we're at.
Hey, and now they get to duke it out in the AFC North. Steelers, Bengals. Let's go.
Just the Bengals the Bengals, Chiefs, Bills. And then I guess you could slide Ravens in there, and Chargers, throw Chargers in there with all these quarterbacks. The AFC is going to be a hell of a watch for the next 20 years. And I can't wait for it, man. But NFC is pretty attainable right now, especially with Tom Brady retiring. NFC is up for grabs, but I guess
Jordan Love might be a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
Shut up. Stop. All right. Stop it.
I don't hate that.
All right, Luke.
I love.
Don't egg him on.
Yes. No. We need this. We need
Jordan Love was great. His junior year? Did he go back for his senior year? What year did he go back? He went. Yeah. So okay, his junior year, Jordan Love really popped off onto the scene, and he should have came out that year. Then he went back.
I will say I did win multiple Super Bowls with Jordan Love as my quarterback the year before he got drafted to the Packers as a London Monarch, the new franchise of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That just seals it. Jordan Love for MVP next year.
No, Jordan Love did not return for his
it was his junior year.
So his sophomore year was the one that was impressive, and then his junior year was not as impressive.
His sophomore year, he had a 64 completion percentage, threw for 3,500 yards, 8.6 yards per attempt, and a 158.3 passer rating. His junior year was still pretty solid.
Wait, what? He had a perfect.
Not quite as good.
He didn't have a perfect pass rate.
It's different in college.
It's different in college. It goes up to like 200.
It is different in college,
yeah.
but it does.
NFL perfect. NFL perfect.
32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
Then everything changed the next year. You got a new offensive coordinator.
You got a new coaching staff.
He wasn't bad his junior.
No, he
year,
wasn't
though.
bad.
He
just
wasn't as good, but he wasn't bad. 61.9% completion percentage, 3,400 yards, 7.2 yards per attempt, and a 129.1 passer rating. The touchdown to interception ratio a little rough.
I love how every episode we always end up having to talk about at least one of the Packers quarterbacks every single time.
Every time.
It was both this episode.
It's been a running joke in the Discord for a little while now because there's Monkey. He's one of the mods in the Discord, and I mess with him every time he brings up the Packers because it's like, what is with Packers fans and having to make everything about the Packers always?
It's because
Always.
until we win it all, that's all we have.
Do you know, I learned this is completely off topic, but I learned a pretty fun stat in my sports marketing class yesterday. If you put your name on the waiting list for a Packers season ticket after the year 2000, you will not get season tickets in your lifetime.
Yep.
After the year 2000.
Too.
Yeah,
is that for the Patriots too?
I think so.
That is wild.
Well, I think when I went to Lambeau, they said it was about like a 35-year wait. Like that's what people were usually waiting, but I don't know. It's probably going to go up.
Yeah.
Does it feel weird though if you put your name on the list and you just knowingly are waiting for someone to die?
Well, no, you still keep it. You keep your place on the list.
You keep it in the family.
Yeah.
It goes to the family member. But if they you pay for it every year though. You have to pay for it every year. But I believe you're grandfathered in to the price that you originally paid. I don't know if that's correct. Because I know some people that I know baseball is kind of like that. I think baseball does that. Because there are some tickets that nobody would be able to afford at Yankee Stadium if they had the prices now. Football might be different, but I'm pretty sure baseball grandfathers.
I don't know. I don't know if you're going like first row 50-yard line and you're not paying anything. You got those tickets like 50 years ago. You're paying like $20 a ticket. I don't know how
loyalty discount.
Well, no, there might be a heavy discount.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like a discount makes sense, but paying the price that you originally paid is a little
maybe.
No, just imagine being the owner and not getting like invited to the fucking games and flown out, right? Imagine that.
That's kind of wild, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on, Luke.
That'd be insane.
You'd go to a game there.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for joining. And if my lovely co-hosts and our special guests want to sign us out, I'll let you guys do that.
All right. If you're listening on Apple Music or Spotify, please leave a rating. It'd be much appreciated. It helps push out the podcast to more people who can also join on this journey.
Yes.
I'm so proud. That was,
oh my God,
a little tear
that was
running down
wonderful.
that was awesome.
Beautiful, Sped.
That was awesome. And speaking of Sped, if you're not following this guy on TikTok already, what are you doing? It is L Sped on TikTok with 2 Ds, right? 2 Ds. 2 Ds.
Yes.
L Sped with 2 Ds.
Double D.
Double D, of course. And I am, of course, Football Fan Zone. Jake is Jake_Maltese3, and Gage is Extra Points, as well as all of our Totally Unqualified accounts, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You know what? Send us an email.
Maybe don't send us an email. That's kind of
weird.
weird.
Maybe not.
Send us an email.
If you're gonna give us money, send us an email.
Yes, absolutely. I can give you our Venmo for that if you want to. But
speaking of giving us money, if you haven't downloaded the Overtime app, be sure to do that at the link in any of our bios. We very
Shameless plug.
it. This week for the Super Bowl, we have an overtime pool going on where you could have potentially win a $300 SeatGeek gift card. Not one, not two, $300 if you want to go to a game, a concert, whatever the case may be. $300 worth of SeatGeek stuff. So definitely be sure to join that. And good luck to you. We wish you the best in that.
Hooday, baby. Woo!